here's the next question, number 33. Given the following polynomial equation, s cube plus 5.5s square plus 8.5s plus 3 is equal to 0. The number of roots of the polynomial which have real parts strictly less than -1 is. Okay, so when the question says have real parts strictly less than -1, it's talking about s is equal to -1 plane. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know. If the value is given, they are talking about s is equal to -1 plane. And strictly less than the given value indicates that they are looking for the roots that lie on the left half of the s is equal to -1 plane. Okay, so keep this in mind, the roots that lie on the left half. Now, the equation given, the highest power of this polynomial is 3. Now, because the power is 3, it means that there are a total of 3 roots. Total number of roots, 3. Out of the 3, we need to know how many lie on the left, and the rest would obviously lie on the right. So, the first step is, let's write down the polynomial given to us, s cube plus 5.5s square plus 8.5s plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, because the value is given as -1, we need to replace s with s minus 1. So, that's the first step. Replacing s with s minus 1 into this equation. So, wherever we have s, just plug in s minus 1. So, that's s minus 1 cube plus 5.5 s minus 1 square plus 8.5 s minus 1 plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, you have to expand this entire equation and it has to result back into a polynomial of s power cube form. So, let's do that. Now, s minus 1 whole cube is s cube minus 1 minus 3s square plus 3s plus 5.5 into s square plus 1 minus 2s plus 8.5s minus 8.5 plus 3 is equal to 0. Simplifying further, plus 3s plus 5.5s square. Better yet, let's directly write down, take common terms out. I think that would be easier. Let's do that instead. Okay, so we have s cube plus, taking s square common, that's minus 3 plus 5.5 plus s into 3 plus 8.5 minus, so that would be 11 plus, we'll write down the constants in the last brackets, 5.5 minus 8.5 plus 3 is equal to 0. So that's s cube plus 2.5s square plus, that comes around to 0.5 s minus, okay, what do we have here? That's 5.5 minus 8.5, and that's okay, so it comes to 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is our resulting polynomial equation. Now that we have this equation, in order to find out how many roots lie on the right half and how many lie on the left, we will have to take Routh-Hurwitz table. We will have to find Routh-Hurwitz table. I'm assuming that you're already familiar with this, but either way we will go through it step by step. So the name is Ruth Hurwitz. So that's basically RH table. Let me write down the equation. Polynomial S cube. Okay, we got it. S cube plus 2.5s square plus 0.5s minus 1 is equal to 0. So the first step of forming the RH table is to write down the powers of s in order here. So we have s cube, s square, s, and the constant corresponds to s to the power of 0. Now if the first power of s is even, then the first row of values will contain the coefficients of even powers. But because over here we have s power 3 as the highest, 3 is odd number. So the first row of elements, the first row of values will contain the coefficients of the odd powers of s. So the coefficient of s power 3 in the equation is 1. This is even, then this is odd. So we go back to this s power 1. The coefficient of s power 1 is 0.5. So we write 0.5 here and that's it. Now next row, we have s square here. So s square is an even power, square is an even power. So we look at the even powers of s, starting with 2.5. 2.5 is the coefficient, and the next coefficient is minus 1. Okay, so we have all the coefficients written out in this form. Now we will have to find out the others in the table. Now we have already worked on this. There is nothing else on the third column over here, so we can completely ignore that. We can directly go to S, the first element in this row here. So this is something like what we do when we find the determinant of a matrix. What we do here is 2.5 multiplied by 0.5. Always remember to move from left to the right. 2.5 into 0.5 minus 1 into 1 divided by the first number here. Okay, so you have to remember that. Always divided by the first number here. So I'll write it down on this side here. So that's 2.5 into 0.5 minus 1 into minus 1 divided by 2.5. If we solve this, I believe that would be 0.9. 2.5 into 0.5 is 1.25 plus 1 divided by 2.5. 0.9. So 0.9 goes here. Okay, now the next is, in order to find this element, we need a third column here. Now because we don't have a third column here, we will assume that this number is 0. You can just write it as 0. That's about it. Okay. Next, we go to the s naught term, s power of 0. And to solve this, we use the same procedure here, but this time we use these 4 values here, these 4 elements. And that would be 0.9 multiplied by minus 1 minus 0 multiplied by 2.5 divided by 0.9. So I'll write that here. So we have 0.9 multiplied by minus 1 minus 0 times 2.5 divided by 0.9. I should have written just 0 there, but either way. So we have here minus 0.9 divided by 0.9, which is minus 1. So the value here is minus 1. S power 0 is minus 1. Now you will have to look at, we don't have to find anything here, because again, in order to find the second term in this row, we would need a third column terms. So assume that it is just 0. Anyway, once we have formed this table, the table is complete. Look at the first column. Now when you look at the first column, you will see that the first 3 terms are positive and the final term is negative. You have one change of sign from here, that's positive to positive, positive to positive, positive to negative. So in the first column, we have a single one sign change. And because we have one sign change, it means that there is one root on the right hand side, on the right half of the plane. Now if one root lies on the right half of the plane, that immediately tells us that there are 2 roots left out of the 3. So total 3, 1 lies on the right half, which means that the other two roots lie on the left half of the plane. Left half of S is equal to -1 plane. And that is exactly what the question asks of us. It asks us about which the number of roots that lie strictly less than -1. Left half, which is 2. Well, I hope this has helped.